Hey folks, how's it going? On August 6, we got the long-awaited Granblue Fantasy Summer livestream, which brought the usual on-stage minigames and plenty of game news, so let's go over them and check what's coming to the game in the next few months. The first bit of news was the announcement for the new summer characters, Vico and Sturm, which should already be released by the time this video goes up. They both look fantastic and my Spark list has become a huge mess. We've been getting far too many characters and this year Eustace has been the only male release so far. Guys, have some mercy, please. If I didn't pick up Silva and Naru in March, those two would be another two names added to the potential Sparks as well. It's kind of crazy and we still have the Flash Fest to go through. Speaking of which, the August Flash Fest will see the release of Wamdus as the latest Water Grand, right on time for the Guild War. The summer skins for Maria Theresa and Catzelia were announced and added to the game within the hour. This leaves Estarriola as the only evoker without one, but I guess a Christmas skin would fit in better. At the same time, the Sushi Chef skin for MC, as well as the summer skins for Katura, Lobelia and Fro, have been permanently added to the shop. Following these skins came the announcement for the August 5-star uncap, this time going to Anne. Fingers crossed it will be an event-related one. I would eat up more Manaria friends, especially if it means Greya can get involved. When it comes to the events, the No Rain, No Rainbow rerun should already be up as well, and it will be followed by a Xeno Sagittarius and the Xeno Ifrit reruns on August 12, with an uncap for the Xeno Sagittarius Feast and the usual addition of AX skills. On August 20th, we'll have the waterproofing rounds that will also bring the uncap plus the awakening for the Clarion and Bident. They are both very niche weapons, but I've always been a bit of a fan of the Bident's passive. Hopefully, we'll get to play around with it a little. When it comes to September, the Fire Guild War begins on the 6th with Hecates as the new Nightmare boss, coming straight from Rage of Bahamut, even if she did get a bit nerfed. September will continue with another Tower of Babel rerun on the 21st, and this time they will add a screen that shows which teams other people are using to clear these stages. After being announced in March, it looks like the Tier 1 and Tier 3 summer raids will finally be turned into special quests and have their difficulties adjusted. Very few people actually run these. Their weapons have become sandbox drops and their anima is now in the Enneads boxes as well. Following the raids slimming down, post Fs down in the comments for the unlisted raids on the Griffon tier. They will be removed on August 17th when this update will go live. The same update will also bring a Magna Omega Pro skip, the normal 2-star fights, as well as an update to co-op lobbies which will now let you start fights solo. These will also be extended to the trial mode, as well as an extension to the amount of trial fights from 2 to 4 per day. On August 24th, we'll see the release of the new Tier 5 class, the Panacea, this time mixing up Sage and Apsaras while also adopting the auxiliary weapon system. It will be using spears and staves, and it will enable a different passive buff depending on which weapon combo is equipped. The class skill will heal all parties in a raid, remove one debuff, and reduce the other debuff's duration by 1 turn. The first TMP skill is a Team-wide Veil, a triple attack buff, and a special buff that lets Panacea cast their class skill for free once a boss does a special attack. The second DMP skill is a team-wide buff for attack, defense, multi-attack and healing cap, and the third DMP skill is a heavy nuke to all enemies that also heals all allies to full HP and removes all debuffs. It will have a 10-turn lockout and it can only be used once. On the passive side, we'll see the 3 weapons combo. Dual Staff will give MC healing cap up, debuff immunity and an auto revive. Dual Spear will give MC guaranteed triple attacks and a permanent echo. Mixing Staff and Spear will boost all allies multi-attack rate and give them a chance to remove a debuff at the beginning of a turn. Sadly, no numbers were given for the echo on the double spear, nor for the duration and amount of the attack and defense buff on the EMP2. Hopefully it will have good values, cause the class is looking pretty good. Especially that Jita, Jesus! In the same update, we'll also get 5 new shields for Paladin, as well as an option to turn the helmets off on both Viking and Paladin classes. Also on the 24th, we'll see the release of the second Diaspora tier fight. The fire slot will go to a blue-haired Mugen from the Eternals Anniversary event, and it will come with a new sword. It will be available on trial mode on the first day, and the raid will not have tenacity loot on release. With no clear release date, they're planning to add a mass uncap function for the Revenant weapons. It'll work exactly like the Rusted Weapons one, and saves you some clicks when you'll need to transcend your Eternals. Following that, we had the announcement for 3 new islands in the Crew Resort, as well as customizable villa interiors, much like Princess Connect. They said it couldn't be done, and yet, here we are. Onward with the quality of life update, we'll finally get a grid rearrangement button for all of our beautifying needs. And when it comes to Arcarum, the promised expedition feature is finally on its way. We'll be able to pick 4 characters and send them in the mines for X amount of hours to make them come back with loot and EMPs. This expedition will not cost AAP either and will be open for standard Arcarum as well as Sandbox Part 1, with more updates coming later on. Next up was the announcement for 12 new Gold Moon weapons. They're basically only showing us the designs at this point because not even the Gold Moon cost has been finalized. It shouldn't be 100, but it will be a decent amount. The concerning part is that both Fire and Water have katanas, while Dark has got an axe coming. Now, we've already been spoiled about the One Piece Red collab, but they finally revealed Luffy's heart will be released as a playable character and apparently will have 3 forms, followed by Uta as a summon and Nabi and Robin as a duo unit. Not seeing Zoro, Sanji and Usopp was a bit weird, but I guess they do have to save some surprises for later. The collab will start mid-September. Due to the Olympic schedule, some of the Granblue Fantasy events had to be moved around. The Christmas stream will be at mid-December, while the Granblue Fest one will be at mid-January, but still have the news for the anniversary in March. Lastly, a section about the in-game campaigns. The current Magnafest with daily 10 draws will end on August 13th and will be replaced by the campaign part 2, with a single daily free draw, 200 crystals, and the usual half-off cost and extra experience. This time we'll have double Arcarum tickets as well as double Sandbox Defender and Treasure Gauges. Might be the time I actually dedicate some grind to it. Part 2 will last until August 25th, when it will leave the place to Part 3, which will add Skyscope missions and extra drop campaign on rotating elements. Part 3 will end on September 6th, at which point we will only have to wait until the One Piece collab for the next Magnafest. As always, they left the juicy part for last, this time showing a development timeline for 2023 that includes the Evoker 5-star caps, as well as 3 more Diaspora tier raids, one of which will be our old friend Siegfried. This autumn, we can expect a new event type tied to Arcarum, tentatively named Arcarum Gaiden, which looks like it might get its own high difficulty raid. It should be followed by the next Sandbox update as well as the new chapters for the main story quest. The Siegfried level fight should come out in early winter alongside the first wave of the Eternal caps, which should be steadily released all throughout winter and spring of 2023. In late spring we should be getting new main story quest chapters, followed by the alchemy system for the Island Resort housing, a Granblue dojo system that's designed to help new players learn the game and build grids and teams, and then in the summer of 2023 we should be getting a new Super Ultimate Bahamut tier fight. Overall, it looks like an okay plan. I'm very much looking forward to the Arcarum Gaiden event, especially since it should have Evoker mini-stories in it. Not to mention the Evoker uncaps themselves. They've said they'll let us know which materials will be required for selling caps beforehand so we can better prepare to farm them, but I have the feeling the 5 stars will be locked behind maxed out domain plus weapon, and it will require even more sandbox mats as well as a new Evolite. Near is in wave 2 at least, so that will leave me a bit more time to farm. Alright then, that's going to be it for me for the moment. Let me know which updates you're the most excited about, and as always, thanks a lot for watching, and see you soon. Ciao!